Oh, fantastic.
So, with that being said, let's go ahead and kick it off, right?
You know what?
What?
Let's punt a
Let's
ball
punch.
in the field.
Let's go ahead and start football early,
Is that
guys.
the opening line? Let's
All right.
punt this thing.
Let's
done.
punt it right off.
Oh, God.
Punt it. Never mind. I'm not going to rhyme it. We're good.
Please don't. We're not syndicated yet, but it doesn't mean that we can't be later.
Okay. So, as you guys know, this podcast is part of the You Run Podcast Network, where you can find all sorts of different podcasts, from true crime to movie reviews, TV show reenactments, I believe, and much more. So you can check them out and us on the You Run. I think it's the yourunnetwork.com.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome to the Paranormal Misfits podcast, where the curious roam, the weird feels at home, and horror is just another day in the office. I'm Chrissy, and that's Bobblehead Nino.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name's Nino Daniel, and welcome to my crib. Sorry, I was trying to lip sync your intro. A new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars came out last night.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch it. Not last night, like a couple nights ago. I didn't watch it, but it was like the roast one.
Oh,
like,
cool.
And Gottmik apparently ripped Nikki Glazer's work. I don't know if you know Nikki Glazer.
I do.
But every time she's on a Comedy Central roast, I'm like tuned into her. And she ripped the one from the roast of Tom Brady. Gottmik. Anyways.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Speaking of roast, what do you got cooking for us, Chrissy? Yeah.
So, I know there's been a few. I caught one on my friend's podcast, The Paranormal Lovers.
Hi.
Hi, guys. There's a docuseries, which I just watched right before hitting, logging in for our recording.
Jesus.
It was like an hour and a half long. It wasn't bad. So, I was like, I got the attention span, I think. I did. I did, until my youngest came in and started arguing with me about why his tablet wasn't turning on. And I was like, dude, there's no power. And he's like, there is power. I was like, if there was power, it'd be on. Like,
honestly,
that kind of argument.
You're smart. Because if there was power.
Oh, God. Well, anyways, so this guy is a legendary Delta blues player. He wasn't active for very long, and he's actually part of the 27 Club. Though he's not technically on the poster anywhere, he's one of the earlier 27 clubs. So I went through a whole deep dive on that too. There's a lot of people who were famous that passed at 27 before the 27 Club came to like its popularity with Janis
Before
Joplin.
The 27 Club was 27ing.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Janis.
So this is Robert Leroy Johnson, or also known as Robert Johnson. So he was born in Hazelhurst, Mississippi. They don't really know when. So, like back in that time period, there wasn't very good like paperwork, we'll call it. Especially if you were African American.
There wasn't very good paperwork.
There still isn't. Let's just be honest.
Well, there's also not good mail services in today's day and age. Jeez.
So he was possibly born on May 8th, 1911, to Julia Mary Dodds and Noah Johnson. So Julia was married to Charles Dodds. He was a fairly prosperous landowner and
yeah,
furniture.
Go ahead and find the words.
I'm trying. I was about to say fortune, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Allocate the words, babe.
I'm trying. Damn it. Furniture maker.
I'd like to take this moment to talk about Chrissy's nails. They look really good.
Thank you.
Look at that. It's giving.
The 90s.
Yeah, it's giving. What's that school bell show?
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
Oh, it's that school bell show.
You knew what I was fucking talking about. Come on. It's giving retro.
Yeah, I know.
So back to our furniture candlestick maker.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously we all know this is post This is post-Civil War and still in the South, the Deep South at that.
The Deep South.
Deep South. So if you were a prosperous African American, the KKK was trying to run you out.
Damn.
And this is what happened. So Charles Dodds, which was Robert Johnson's stepfather, he was ran out of town. He ran to not Mississippi. He's in Mississippi. He ran to Memphis to get away because they were trying to lynch him, basically.
Oh my God, that's not cool.
Yeah, for being as prosperous as he was. So
for being wealthy and black.
Right.
Got it. Okay. Cool. What's changed?
So at this point, Robert and his mother, they're moving around different places. He spends the next 8 to 9 years growing up in Memphis, so they do end up meeting back up with the stepdad. He changes his name to Charles Spencer, not Robert Johnson, but the stepdad did, where he got a really good education. And then it was in Memphis where he acquired his love for and knowledge of the blues and popular music. So they amounted that he had really good education based on his signature when it came to the marriage license that they found for him. So his signature was nice, neat, clean, legible. So
is that all it took?
Apparently.
That's what we rated people's intelligence on.
Yeah.
How clean is your signature?
Yeah. Yes.
Girl.
So I'm guessing there's not a lot. Like I said, there's not a lot of paper trail on this. There's not a lot of paper trail in general on him. But at some point, his stepfather and his mother get divorced. His mother remarries a man named Willie Dusty Willis, and then they settle into a plantation in Lucas Township in Arkansas, and then move across the Mississippi River to the Mississippi Delta, where they lived on another plantation. So during this time, it was joked that Robert Johnson was Little Willie, with the different people who worked on the plantation and with his stepdad. And it was found around this time that his stepdad most likely was abusing him because he refused to take part in the work. Right? He didn't want to. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Of picking plants. And also during this time is when you saw a lot of traveling African-American musicians. So on the weekends, they would come to the plantations and they would play like informal concerts for everybody. It's said that the Delta blues was technically found during plantation time, during slavery, because they were singing in the fields and stuff. That's where that kind of came to be. Not necessarily in a studio somewhere at some juke joint.
God.
Jesus. I'm just saying.
So there's a school in a juke joint.
Yeah. There's a school friend named Willie Coffey who was interviewed and later filmed. So there's a couple of different what are they called? Documentaries on Robert Johnson, because he's like an enigma. Like, you know of him, you know the rumors, but you don't know, like, exactly. So they had to, like, piece together this. So originally, Robert Johnson wasn't known for his guitar skills. He was actually known for his harmonica and jaw harp skills.
You got it.
There we go. I got it out. So at one point, Johnson doesn't actually, and this is so funny because this happened to my dad too. Johnson didn't know his biological dad, nor did he know what his actual last name was.
Oh, shit.
So his mom finally lets it out. This is your dad's surname and all of this. And it's by the age of 18 that he takes on the Johnson last name. And he marries a young girl. She's about 15. Virginia. Oh. And I try and look past the time periods is what I'm trying to do. Virginia Travis in February of 1929. So this is one of the marriage certificates they find. She dies later in childbirth. So if you know anything about the South, we are the Bible Belt. Mississippi is especially one of them. And during this time period, blues itself was seen as the devil music. So Robert Johnson was associated with devil music.
Huh.
So he marries her. He makes a promise to her that he'll put down his guitar, basically, right? So she travels to go see her grandmother as she's 8.5 months pregnant. She's giving birth. Johnson decides to take this time and hit up his old local spots where he used to play music while traveling to go see his wife and baby. By the time he gets there, wife and baby have passed.
Wait, both?
Mm-hmm. They don't say of what, just that they passed. So her family goes in and says, this is all your fault. It's because you play that devil music. This is God punishing you kind of situation, right? Because that's what it is. That's what the South is.
Yep.
Because he was singing those songs, it was known as, selling your soul to the devil. And that's what that family kept reiterating to him. So he packs it up and he just starts traveling and playing music because that's what he's mounted himself to. He basically lost and it was said in the documentary that's on Netflix that was like the love of his life, pretty much. So that's what he does. He goes and he's decided, I'm going to be a full-time blues man. So around this time, there's blues musicians. There's two of them, Sonny House and Willie Brown, are in Robbinsville. I think that's in Mississippi.
Same. That's what I was going to say.
So at this time for musicians, they're traveling musicians. So they're never in one spot. They're either playing out on the side of the corner on the street side, or they're playing in juke joints, or they're trying to find money. But this is how they make their money. So Robert Johnson wasn't well known yet. He also wasn't very good with the guitar, though that's what he carried around was a guitar. And there's a thing in the, where is it? There's a story that Robert Johnson plays outside the juke joints that Son House and Willie Brown play in, because that's who he wants to emulate. That's who he wants to be. He wants to be like those guys. So as he's playing, the patrons inside are like, oh my God, can you get that boy to stop? He's driving me nuts, blah, 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 blah. So finally, they run Robert Johnson out. No one knows what happens to him for about 1.5 years. No one knows where he goes. No one knows anything. And he comes back and he's like, hey, let me just play the guitar. They're cracking the joke. Like, what are you doing? Coming in here to make people's ears bleed, stuff like that. He's like, just let me play the guitar. So he plays it. And as he's bringing out his guitar, if everyone knows, I hope everyone knows that's listening, you know what a guitar looks like. It has 6 strings. On Robert Johnson's, he adds an additional string. So he's actually playing 7. And he has extremely long fingers. So what is that one syndrome called? Marfan's? Whatever it is, where you have where it has the long limbs and stuff. So he's gone for about 1.5 years. He's playing a guitar with 7 strings as opposed to the 6. And when he starts playing, everyone's jaw just drops. They're like, oh my God. Marfan's. Okay. Jaw just drops. Everyone's like, how did you learn to do that? And he doesn't, he doesn't sell his secrets, right? He's not going to tell you how he did it. I mean, now you think about it, 1.5 years, anyone can come up and do anything in 1.5 years if they actually put forth and practice enough. But back then they're like, oh, what'd you do? What supernatural thing did you do? Because down in the South, you've got the Christians, you've got hoodoo, you got voodoo, you got all the things. Yeah,
because God forbid it was actual talent.
I know, right? God forbid he actually went off for 1.5 years and just played until his fingers bled, right?
That's called practice.
So
that's going to be a bit.
So it's at this point where that deal with the devil really comes into play, because when you look up, if you type in Robert Johnson, there's always something that comes back to the deal that he made with the devil at the crossroads. And if you know anything about anything religion-based, especially witchcraft and hoodoo, the crossroads is a major point in most of those. You go to the cross points when you're at a crossroads in your life, and you go to seek guidance depending on what religion you're in. So for like hoodoo, you're seeking some sort of answer. Christianity takes it and goes, if you go to the crossroads, the devil's going to find you. And that's devil went down to Georgia. That's all I got to say. Charlie Daniels. Like, that's what makes me think of it. But he wasn't making a deal with the devil. That was the devil going, I want to make a deal with you. But that's beside the point. Sorry, guys.
Oh, so like modern day record labels. Got it.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, this is where the myth of where he made a deal with the devil at the crossroads. So it's said that one night, Robert went to the crossroads late one night, got on his knees, placed his guitar down, and the devil appears and tunes his guitar. As the devil's tuning his guitar and handing it back to him, he says, if you play this guitar, you're selling your soul to me. And then that's where it takes off. And when you're watching, I'm going to use the Netflix series because that's what I had just recently watched, obviously, just like an hour ago. When you're watching the series, they're explaining, and it's really in depth and it's really good. They're explaining that during the Delta Mississippi area, they're heavy religious, right? But everyone's forgetting about the hoodoo portion. And when you're listening to some of his songs, he actually makes references to hoodoo of like putting hot powder at his front door to keep the hellhounds out. There's
hot powder.
Mm-hmm.
Like spicy powder or like hot temperaturically powder?
I think it's hot spicy powder.
Okay.
You know, the women are known to wear little satchels that are like their... If you take like the medicine man bag you get from Native American folklore, hoodoo women wear it around their waist. And it's got some ingredients and stuff in it. And it's kind of like the woman's essence. And if the man manages to take that bag and empty its contents, then she loses her essence and she no longer has like that power over him. So he makes a reference to that in one of the songs. He does make reference to the devil, the hellhounds, the crossroads. The other part is that later on, when you're listening to different musical theorists and stuff like that, those who study music history and everything, they're saying that if you're actually listening to the lyrics, he points it back to a lot of things that happened in his early childhood. So when it comes to the hellhounds, he's thinking, like, they're thinking that when he's singing about the hellhound at my door, and the other thing is if you use spicy powder whenever they were using bloodhounds to hunt you, it actually masked your scent. It would throw the hounds off because it would burn their nose for a bit.
Oh, and they probably would be like, yeah, let's not go that way.
Mm-hmm. So...
Does it still work?
Why, are you being chased?
No, not yet. Also, just the word bloodhound, like...
Bloodhounds, just... Like, I don't understand how they got that name.
Blood? Like,
right.
You just go to an infirmary or something.
Where am I at? Okay, so there's a song where it's like, songs like Come in My Kitchen have many hoodoo references to it. Sprinkling of hot powder on his door in the song Hellhound on My Trail is mean to keep the evil away. So that's essentially what the hot powder's for. And he's referencing the hellhounds to bloodhounds because that's what they did to his stepdad, who was actually who made money and everything, and they chased him out of town basically to keep himself from being lynched. So they think modern people, I should say modern times, think they're looking into the references in his music and is like, this is a religious reference, this is reference to the hardships and everything going for an African American during this time period, right? So, oh my God, my notes are everywhere. Hey, like my brain.
I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce a message to...
Hi, guys.
Please make sure that you are subscribed to all stations of Paranormal Misfits podcast and give us 5 stars. Also, linked somewhere is our merchandise. Buy our shit. Please. Please.
Please.
Like
We want a bag of Doritos.
Like I'm not poor or anything, but I just got a really sweet coupon from Panda Express in the mail.
Oh my God.
And I'd love to use that coupon.
I'd love to.
Also, yeah, 5 stars. Make sure you're following. And I said hi to Priscilla last week.
Who gets the hi this week?
Who gets the hi? Hello to my sister.
There you go. Is she
Hi,
listening?
Sona. I don't know. We're gonna find the fuck out. We're gonna.
Okay.
Good
so
old. Oh, she found it.
I did. So other notes to know about Robert Johnson. He wasn't active very long, right? And he has in total, I believe it's 29 songs recorded.
Okay.
So about 2 records, I think. Give or take. I don't know how many they used to put on back then.
It wasn't a lot. Like I remember vinyls back then would only take like
12, right?
No, less.
No, less
Sometimes
than
7 to 10.
So
homie could have like 3, maybe 4 albums on his hands.
That's true.
In like then, say nowadays he could have like 1 album. Freaking Taylor Swift dropping like
one of dropping like remasters of remasters,
dropping like 38 versions of Tortured Poets Department.
I'm so tired of that. Okay,
honestly,
anyways,
we'll get into that. That should be an episode. Taylor Swift and Zena LaVey. That should be an episode.
So when Johnson was recording his songs, it only took 2 takes.
Sorry?
Yeah, it only took
takes
him 2
me like
takes.
7 to do Smart Friend. Like,
excuse me?
Jesus, you're smart.
No, yeah, I had it. Now I can't find it again. I don't want to get there yet.
You'll get there.
I know. Let's see.
This will be a great place to interject.
Whatever else we got going
on.
Yes. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to the interpretations of things I was talking about, because I was like, I had it. All right. So some scholars have argued that the devil in these songs may not refer to the Christian figure of the devil, but the trickster god of the African origin, Legba. If you've watched American Horror Story.
I'll be so honest. I get like, I don't try to watch stuff that has that stuff on there.
Really?
I'm genuinely like, I love Jesus. And I'm not trying to, I'm not.
Let's see. Folklorist Harry M. Hyatt wrote that during his research in the South from 1935 to 1939, when African Americans were born in the 19th century or early 20th, said they or anyone else had sold their soul to the devil at the crossroads, they had a different meaning in mind. So Hyatt claimed that there was evidence indicating African religious retention surrounding Legba and making of a deal, not the selling of a soul in a sense, but,
Oh, like a deal with the devil type, like literally the exact statement.
Yeah.
You, if that's what you're into.
With the so-called devil at the crossroads. So if you're thinking, let's think about it. Go to, who is it, Charlie Daniels?
Sure. Who did?
Devil Went Down to Georgia. That's the song.
Oh, you just said that.
I did.
Isn't it weird how the ADHD just kind of kicks right on in?
It did, didn't it? Really hard.
It did. It just hit hard.
Okay, the blues and the blues singer had a really special power over... The blues and the blues singer had special powers over women, especially. It said that the blues singer could possess women and have any woman they wanted. And so when Robert Johnson came back, having left his community as an apparently mediocre musician with a clear genius in his guitar style and lyrics, people said he must have sold his soul to the devil. And that fits with this old African association with the crossroads where you go to find wisdom, which is what I was talking about earlier. You go down to the crossroads to learn, and in his case, make a pact with the devil. You sell your soul to become the greatest musician in history. And then there's a lot of there's a lot of back and forth with the different scholars and stuff of like, was he talking about the devil? Was it more so of him just making references to like evil happening to the African American community during this time period.
That,
you know?
He was literally ran out by the KKK, like, or his dad, sorry,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it was funny because he was getting popular in the South, but like he wasn't well known everywhere. Obviously. He is said.
He wasn't known ever. Oh my god.
No, he wasn't, because there is something that after his death you'll see in a bit.
Like physically, I'll see it.
No, unless you watch the damn thing.
I'm just kidding.
Unless you watch something I referenced.
She's like, let me get through this damn segment, Nino.
Okay, so Johnson mastered the guitar, being considered today one of the all-time greats because he has finally gotten into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because of how much his style and his music influenced a bunch of genres. And he's actually, I forgot about this, but while I was watching the documentary, there's quite a few bands, Led Zeppelin, I believe the Rolling Stones, where they've either remastered or remade his song, or at least used a couple of lines from his various songs and
like
tried
as
to
samples.
mimic.
That's that devil music.
So he's considered to be the greatest of all times. On the instrument especially, his approach was complex and musically advanced. When Keith Richards was first introduced to Johnson's music by a bandmate, Brian Jones, he asked, who is the other guy playing with him? Because the way he played the guitar made it sound like there was two different people playing and meeting together in the middle.
Oh.
Not realizing he was only playing one guitar, Keith Richards states he was hearing two guitars, and it took a long time to actually realize what he was doing all by himself. So his technique for the guitar is politely reedy and ambitiously eclectic. This is from Richards. Moving effortlessly from hin picking to bottleneck slides to a full deck of chukka rhythm figures.
Respectfully, what the fuck did you just call me?
I didn't call you anything.
Jeez, chukka.
Chukka.
Sorry, that's just...
So he also had a very particular sound, vocally.
Okay.
He like had, how? Let me see. I almost had it. I thought it was there.
So close. It
was so close and so far away at the same time. Let's see. We got photographs. There's only 2 known photographs of him, by the way.
What? Mm-hmm. Dang, there's at least 48 of me.
Oh, there's more than that of me because I'm vain.
Yours? No, I was going to say, you're so gay, but you don't even like boy. That's... But isn't there a song called You're So Vain?
There's...
Oh, you're so vain that you probably think the song is about
Janet Jackson remade it.
Now, who's the original? Pop quiz
for someone who doesn't know shit like that. But I do know that Janet Jackson's was a remake.
Janet is on tour right now.
Is she?
All right, let's not get into this ADHD bit this fucking early.
Carly Simon. Okay.
Jesus.
I needed to do that. All right. So we're at his lyrics. Not his lyrics. Well, we know what his lyrics are. Sorry, guys.
You'll get through it, babe.
I'm trying.
You'll make it on the other side.
Eventually. You know what? I'll get back to the lyrics. Fuck it. Okay, so obviously... Sorry, guys.
I hate it when mom cusses.
You should hear my kid. I usually hear him from the background. Mommy, you said a bad word. You're right. I did. Now shut up. No, just playing.
Oh my God.
I usually go, I know, buddy. I'm sorry. I apologize for cussing, even though I'm the grown-ass adult in this house.
Even though I pay the bills in this bitch.
Right. All right. So,
this is
as most musicians during this time period, they dabble in alcohol, live a little bit of a fast life. So he does have one more son with another woman almost with the same name as his previous wife. Her name was Virginia as well.
Virginia Travis.
Travis was the one that passed.
Travis was the one that passed.
Right. There's one more. Her name is like Virgie or Virginia, but basically it's short for Virginia.
Oh. Twinsies.
Twinsies. Look at that. By the way, I love the nicknames these bluesmen give each other and stuff. We got Honey Boy.
Oh, that means something different today.
Who are you telling?
That means something different today. Or the word like sassy back then used to mean gay, right?
Did it?
I mean, I'm not gay, my husband is, but like
Okay, so
are we back?
We're back. So Johnson has a very short-lived career. Like I said, he's got 29 total recordings. I believe that's only in a 2-year span, by the way. He recorded 29 in 2 years, I believe.
That's like a song every 3 weeks.
Yeah. All right, so
Bitch.
Johnson passes away in August of 1938 at the age of 27 in Greenwood, Mississippi. There's a couple of rumors around this one because there's no real known cause of death.
Okay.
They did find his death certificate later, which only listed the date and location with no official cause of death. No formal autopsy, obviously, was ever done. Some are saying it's most likely congenital syphilis, and it was later suspected by medical professionals this may have been the contributing factor to his death. However, 30 years of local oral tradition had, like the rest of his story, built up a legend which has filled in the gaps of the very limited historical records. So it was said one night, so after his second child, that family, like the first family, ran him off from the daughter. You play that devil's music, I don't want you around here, blah, 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 kind of thing. So he has now deemed himself the devil, basically. Like, I am just the devil's man.
He himself has?
That's kind of what everyone insinuated.
That's like the lore behind it.
Because what he ended up doing is he became an alcoholic. He was traveling around all the time. He never stayed in one place. He was womanizing, all the things, right? So at this time, he's also traveling around with Sonny Boy Williamson, which is one of his friends. So they were at a juke joint, which if you don't know what a juke joint is, it's like a little bar where musicians come to play. Think of what's his name? Childish Gambino's new music video that came out, where he's like doing the dance and the jig and stuff. Think like that, essentially. That's what a juke joint is.
I love you.
So according to one theory, Johnson was murdered by a jealous husband of a woman with whom he had flirted with. In the account by the blues musician Sonny Boy Williamson, Johnson had been flirting with a married woman at the dance, and she gave him a bottle of whiskey that was poisoned by her husband. When Johnson went to originally go take a swig, his buddy Williamson had knocked it out of his bottle and told him, "Do not drink out of a bottle that has a broken seal. You don't know where it came from, especially if you weren't the one who opened it or saw how it was opened." To which Johnson then replied, "Don't ever knock a bottle out of my hand." Soon after, another bottle of whiskey appears. Johnson swigging from it, and later that night, he begins to feel violently ill. So Williamson helped him back to his room, and over the next 3 days, his condition steadily got worse, and eventually he passed. It is said that Robert Mack McCormick claimed to have tracked down the man. This is later one of the guys who was working on building his biography, claimed to have tracked down the man who murdered Johnson and had obtained a confession from him in a personal interview, but he declined to reveal the man's name. It was also said that the town didn't do anything because the town all saw it, basically. There was plenty of witnesses. But no one came forth because Johnson had basically associated himself as the guy who made the deal with the devil. And everyone's just like, meh, okay. Let him die. He deserved it, kind of thing.
That's rude.
Right? There's a little bit of a toss-up of exactly what he was poisoned with. I don't really want to go into it too much. Eventually, someone said it was most likely dissolved mothballs, which is absolutely disgusting.
Oh, that literally kills you.
And
obviously.
It's a common way people poisoned each other in the backwoods of the South, because I'm not going to try and say the word. I always sound funny when I say the word rural.
Rural?
Yeah, that one.
Rural?
I don't know. It depends on who you are. Depends on where you're at.
There's a lot of people that say rural.
Yeah.
They forget the whole RU in the beginning. Rural.
Rural.
Or it depends on like how you say oil.
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 Oil. I got some oil. No, that's not me.
Girl, you can't even get your mail. Let's not even talk about pronunciations.
First off, that's not my fault. I don't work
I know.
for the mail.
Okay, you don't work for the mail. You don't. Wait a minute, Mr. Post. Anyways.
So, like I said, there was nothing really found, on his death. No one really knows what was the cause of death. No one knows anything about that. Apparently, who did end up burying him was a plantation owner. And the owner said his opinion was that the man died of syphilis. So in 2006, a medical practitioner, David Connell, suggested on the basis of just the photographs of Johnson, he has unnaturally long fingers and one bad eye. So Johnson may have had that Marfan syndrome, which could have both affected his guitar playing and contributed to his death due to aortic dissection. Dissection? Yes.
Well, dissection and dissection.
Dissection. So pulling apart.
Dissection.
Dissection. D-I-S-S.
Dissection. Dissection and dissection are spelled the same.
Okay. We're here.
I'm gonna need to see what you're pronouncing written on paper. Because I'm hearing dissection, and I was like D''SSEC, like
dissection. Dissection.
I love it.
DISSECTION. Okay.
Country of origin, please. No, I'm kidding.
Country of origin, Florida.
Kidding.
United States of America, but Florida broke off.
Oh,
Seems to think it's its own.
So they seceded.
Apparently. Well, we got DeSantis, No, anyways.
Oh my God, get back to it. So something with an eyeball, something with some fingers.
Yeah, so that
something
most
with
likely
some fingers.
Most likely attributed to his. I think Lincoln had it too, didn't he? Didn't he have Marfan syndrome too?
I wasn't there. I was busy that day.
Wasn't everybody associating him with it? God. Where is your read? No, just playing. So there's no
I was busy that day.
I was busy. There's no true location of Johnson's grave. They have 3 different sites they assume is his, and even has markers. So we have one that's near a mission, which I think this one's kind of. No, this one doesn't have. Oh no, they did place a marker there. Okay, so he may have been buried in a graveyard near a missionary Baptist church near Morgan City, Mississippi, not far from Greenwood, in an unmarked grave. A 1-ton cenotaph in the shape of an obelisk.
Spell it out.
OBELISK.
Obelisk.
Obelisk. Okay. Listing all of his song titles.
Is today a spelling challenge?
It's a bad day.
Did you pull one on me and decide to include words that I'm on 2.5 fucking hours of sleep and you're pulling this shit?
I'm trying.
At
not really. I'm really
fucking 55 in the morning.
To. All right.
What the fuck?
I'm not trying to.
Okay, anytime. You know what? You are no longer the speller of the duo.
I'm not.
Casting spellers, yes.
Casting spellers.
Spelling spellers, no ma'am.
Oh.
Come on, dissected obelisk.
I know. So let's see. There's one more. He's supposedly buried next to like 3 different churches.
Huh?
Yeah.
Like in pieces?
I don't know.
Oh, you were busy that day?
No, yeah, I was. It was one of those gotta check this off. Like I can't today, guys. It's hot. It's Mississippi. I saw
can't dinner with myself. I can't cancel that again.
I can't cancel that again. Just can't do it.
We'll get there, folks.
We will. So yeah, that is me getting there. Oddly enough, and I think this is an interesting thing to kind of highlight too, is that due to his fame, due to the legends, they actually made a crossroads marker where it was assumed where he went to go make the deal with the devil.
Like a physical, like where he physically walked?
Yeah.
Girl, why would you want that? Ugh.
Because it's the South and we like weird shit.
Bitch, I know.
So I mean, it's accurate.
That's gross.
It's weird. We definitely do weird shit.
That makes me not want to visit you. Oh.
You already went to Miami.
And Orlando.
I mean, I'll visit you there. I like those places.
I'll visit you in Orlando.
Do that. Don't come to Jags. We already made the list.
I wasn't gonna. Okay. I mean, if you needed me for anything in the world, but
I'm going to just grit and bear it.
Okay, what's next? So there's a physical marker where he made the deal with the devil.
All right. So 6 months after his passing, there was a very large concert that was going to be used to highlight jazz and the blues and like where it came from spirituality all the way to where it is at that present time, which was in 1939. No, 38, because Jesus. Anyways, here I am again. So one of the guy who was putting together, I know, right? The guy who was putting together this big thing at Carnegie Hall sent out one of his workers to go find Robert Johnson. He wanted to formally invite him to come and play on Carnegie stage. Well, come to find out, he passed away 6 months prior. So instead, they got a record of some of his recordings and played it on the stage, and apparently everybody in the audience fell in love with it. And this is where the peak of the interest of his music kind of went up towards the north. I don't think the West Coast still really knew about it. But over the years, you got genres like, obviously, jazz, blues, rock and roll. You can hear the influence of his style. So singers like Eric Clapton, guitar artists like Keith Richards, Led Zeppelin sings a line of one of Johnson's songs. They were all inspired by him. And as I said earlier, he is part of the 27 Club. So if you don't know what the 27 Club is, think Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison. Was he 27? I think he's part of it.
I'm not, so it's really hard to tell.
Oh. I'm not, so it's really fuck you. I made it past 27, guys. I'm proud.
I know. I turned... What's today's date? June 15th.
The 15th.
When do I turn 34? In like... 10 weeks?
10?
I
don't know.
34.
I'm 37. It's okay.
Yeah, but I'm 34. I'm technically still in Club 33, so I'm...
You're like, I'm
happy
still there.
with it.
So everyone... this wasn't when the 27 Club came to be. I think it came to be after.
No, the 27 Club.
Hendrix?
The 27 Club started hitting in like the 90s,
and
then it became like a thing. Like with Amy Winehouse, it was like a big thing.
Okay, so everyone associates, which I thought I had never heard this, and maybe it's just because I didn't like it. Doesn't equate to me in my brain. They're all like, yeah, those those who are part of the 27 Club obviously made some sort of pact with the devil, and in my brain I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Like, I get like we want to associate it with something, but that's what it said. The club is thought to be those who made with deals with the devil. So we have, again, Amy Winehouse, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison, a couple other people, I think. To me, what it was they're all living life on the edge, right? They're all living kind of, and we'll just call it fast. They're all living a really hard life with like how they use alcohol and drugs and not actually taking care of any issues that arise.
And how people took advantage of them.
Mm-hmm. Now, instead of like people associating, what I think people should do is instead of associating with these people making deals with the devils, it's kind of associating like what, I won't say evil, but just like what, I don't know. More so of what's inside them than like thinking they went out somewhere and was like, I want to be the greatest singer of all. Like, I'm going to go make this deal with the devil kind of thing. I don't know. It's just weird. I thought it was weird when I saw that. And then I heard it in the documentary and I was like, that's a weird one. Like, I don't agree with that one.
You know what this kind of like teeters on like the reminiscence of, or it's very reminiscent or familiar of, is that movie with Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley, Bedazzled.
Yes.
And like, doesn't he end up like, doesn't she as the devil like end up falling in love with him or something?
Mm-hmm.
The only scene I vividly remember from that movie was when he wanted to be this like beefy, bulky like athlete, but then she didn't make his dick big enough for when the towel fell during that news reporter segment.
Right.
And maybe that's because I'm gay, but like I vividly remember that scene.
No, that makes sense.
This is like very reminiscent of that. Like, I think nowadays, I don't necessarily think that the devil himself comes to people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like the agendas of the demonic are like, I think if the devil were to come to you and make a deal with you, you'd probably be better off than what all of these record labels and movie houses and everything else is like. They push other demonic things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like if the man came to me directly, no, I'm not asking for the devil to come into my life. Please, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus Christ. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, versus someone sending something else. And yeah, anyways, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for keeping me safe and warm. And thank you for all the success, everything in my life. Please guard over everyone I'm in close corners with. Love you so much. Amen. Okay. Like, I straight up just prayed on an episode like that. That's how seriously I take this shit. Like, I don't.
No, I understand.
That's why I'm never going to visit you in Jackson.
I wouldn't take you anywhere. That wouldn't be fun.
Like, fuck this bitch. I'm doing the show solo again.
No.
No.
So yeah, so like I said, there's that. He's part of the 27 Club. Before the 27 Club came to be, at his passing, he left no will, obviously.
Oh, mother of shit.
Mother of shit. So in 1998, the Mississippi Supreme Court ruled that Claude Johnson, a retired truck driver living in Crystal Springs, there's a bunch of Crystal Springs, Jesus Christ. Living in Crystal Springs, Mississippi, because there's a
crystals are springing.
I don't know.
How many crystals are springing, guys?
Was the son of Robert Johnson and his only heir. The court heard that he had been.
Babe, what's happening?
I don't know. I didn't drink coffee. I had a chai tea instead. And I think that might be
that done fucked you up.
It has messed me up.
We gotta get you ready for Spookula, babe. Come on now.
I know. I already got the hotel books, which I'm really excited for. It's like 2-mile walking distance.
That's not about 2 miles is quick.
Mm-hmm. Especially
2 miles
in
is
Tampa.
a 10-minute walk.
Yeah. So the court heard that he had been born to Virgie Jane Smith, later Virgie Jane Kane, who had a relationship with Robert Johnson in 1931. The relationship was attested by a friend, May Williams, and other relatives descendant from Robert Johnson's half-sister, Carrie Harris Thompson, contested Claude Johnson's claim. The effect of the judgment was to allow Claude Johnson to receive over $1 million in royalties. Claude Johnson passed away at the age of 83 in 2015, leaving 6 children behind, which I think is interesting because when you watch the Netflix series or documentary, his great-grandson essentially is doing the documentary and speaking about it. Okay. Because in the documentary, Claude states that he only saw his dad twice, and his dad was trying to visit him. And at one point, the last time he saw his dad, his grandfather had went outside, told him to go away. We don't want you around here. None of that devil music. And basically, Robert Johnson was like, well, please just give this to my son, which was a handful of cash, which was, better than what most people get nowadays. But that was the last time he saw his dad. He wasn't allowed to see him.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how deep the religious aspect kind of played a role in Robert Johnson and kind of his inability to have a family with the women that he fell in love
that
with.
was his curse.
Could have been.
I mean, trajectory wise, maybe that was the thing that never worked out.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so lots of stuff on Wikipedia. Lots of stuff in the Netflix series.
What's the Netflix series called?
Remastered. Fuck me.
I'm good.
Thanks. I'm good too.
I'm solid. Y'all got teeth in there. I'm so good. Movie. I do have a somewhat of an announcement to make when you're done, and this I want to be on the podcast.
Okay. Da, 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 da. I believe it's called. It's like remastered. God, it took me forever to find it the first time. Oh, here we go. Remastered Devil at the Crossroads, a Robert Johnson story.
That is a title.
It is. And if you can see it.
Oh, wow.
It's like nice and moody looking. He's got the. Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly recommend it. That's just me. What do you think?
I think so. I definitely, going back to what I had said, I think if you're going to meet the man himself, you're probably better off versus whatever they're doing to people now. And I honestly think that conversations like these are what started the whole the devil is in the music. Because sometimes the rhythms in certain songs, they just become so chanty. And I'm like, the words have power. In regards to his story, I, again, wasn't there that day. I was a little busy. But I hope that wherever he is laid to rest in his spirit, that he's at peace with what he's done with his life and how much of an impact he's had. I do think it's a little auspicious that his history is so fragmented in terms of what is retrievable evidence. That to me is
Well, you got to think about it though.
No, but also
really counting them and giving them good paperwork.
I know.
Yeah.
But part of me is also if another race had better or more equitable documentation, then something somewhere should exist.
Right.
Because my thing is always someone somewhere has something. That's where my mind always goes. It's it's never lost. Someone has something somewhere. And I refuse to believe that artifacts and information and all of that is just lost.
Right.
So that's where my mind is how do I Nancy Drew the fuck out of this? How do I boxcar children the fuck out of that?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Something to look into.
His music's really good too. I've listened to it while working on reports and stuff at my old job and everything.
Is he on Apple Music?
He's on Apple, and you can find tons of Spotify playlists
You'll
as
find the
well.
word. Wait,
I will.
I need to find him on Apple Music. You need to find the word.
I'm trying.
What's it? Okay, remind me of his name, even though we said it 14 times in this episode. Robert Johnson. I don't know why I thought Michael Johnson. God. Oh, Robert Johnson. Mm-hmm. Look at you, friend. You're so handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Crossroad Blues.
Yep. So in that song, it's more so him calling out to God.
Me and the Devil Blues.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, his catalog on Apple Music is very short.
Yep.
I believe I'll dust my broom. Yeah, the other thing is, as well, is like, I don't want to say this inappropriately, but some of the song, I don't want, you know what, I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to mess up what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
But I'll text it to you.
Okay.
Like, because I just don't want to fucking
be interpreted the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, by the way, let me know when you listen to the episode coming out today if you hear my husband singing Savage Garden in the background, because my mic picks up some distance.
Sure. I will listen to it on the way to the Gaslight Theater, where I'm a featured improv artist with Scaredy Cast and Nathan Bazel.
I'm excited. So are they going to...
But that's not the announcement that I have to make.
Well, quick question before you make your other announcement. Are they going... They're recording it?
I have no idea, babe.
So we don't know if we can...
I'm literally just
share it for you.
Babe, I have no idea what's even going on. I'm showing up. They're like, you're a trained improv artist. I'm like, sure am. 15 plus years of training in improv. You better believe it.
Right.
The other thing I did want to mention is I had a conversation earlier this week.
Okay.
And due to some complications and miscommunications, I am stepping away from Cabin in the Woods Film Festival as their guest of honor for their virtual segment.
Okay.
That does not mean anyone should send negativity or hate to them at all. I, in fact, urge people to buy your ticket virtually, however have you, and participate. This was actually going to be the segment that Jose Prendes and I kind of like did together.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know if it's a segment, but essentially we were signed on to do the same thing. So due to just different levels of miscommunication from both my part and the film festival staff, I won't be participating in that, and that is still happening. Cabin in the Woods Film Festival is still happening August 20th through the 24th.
Okay.
So if you're able to attend in person, it's going to happen in Seattle. I think. But if you're going to attend virtually, there's going to be more information about that. Yeah. And huge thanks and huge gratitude to everyone involved for having me on again. But just things didn't work out. So, yeah.
Yeah.
This was an interesting story today, friend.
I know. It took me a while to get through it.
Yeah.
I should drink my coffee. I was like, I am gonna go a lighter route and go for chai tea.
Yeah,
and that was wrong.
Fuck that. You know how people sing that song, I'd rather take my whiskey. I think yours should be like, I'd rather take my coffee now. Like,
thanks.
Because, that
was bad. So guys, just to also give you a heads up, these next few episodes that are coming out are going to be a little different.
That's
We're
right.
gonna have a few 2-parters in there, so be on the lookout.
Yeah. And just in case anyone's like, not that anyone's asking why, but it's coming very close to my time to go to Bosnia and see my family. But we don't want to miss giving content. So we're going to do some double ups. And it's a good thing for us because we actually get like 2 full weeks off.
Yes, from recording.
Like, not that we don't love y'all. We love y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We also, if you live in Arizona and you got to wake up at 5:30 to be at this fucking podcast recording by 7.
We can always move it. It's just
I know, but it's just nicer to get it done.
I know. And then you
my
have
like
the
little
rest of the day.
Yeah, because then my little treat is falling back asleep. So
eventually we'll have our own podcast studio. You guys should really buy merch because I could buy that.
Yeah, eventually. Can you guys please buy merch? Because gas is expensive and I really need it. Just kidding.
How much is gas over there by you?
Right now, like I only go to Costco.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's like $3.79.
Okay, so you're a little higher than us.
Well, you're a freaking Florida and Texas and all those places that people fucking rag on for being conservative. That's one thing. But like, y'all get the cheapest fucking gas because it ports right fucking there.
I know.
When I was
we have a couple of oil ports right here in
When
Jacksonville.
I was in Houston in September of 2022 for my bachelor party, leaving Arizona, gas was about what it is right now, back in 2022. Right. When I got to Houston, guess how much gas was?
It should have been like $3.09 or something.
$2.19.
The fuck? I haven't even seen $2.19 here in Florida.
$2.19.
Oh my God, I'd cry.
Because Houston is like a 45-minute drive from Galveston. Galveston's a port city.
Desi, we know you're listening. Can you...
Desi,
can you ship us some?
Can you ship us some? Can you get the 87 grade for me, Desi?
Yeah, right.
Desi, I'll send you my P.O. box. Like, actually, Desi, you should know what my P.O. box is. It's in my link. Oh my God. But
I'm thinking for Spookula, I'm gonna, because he doesn't really listen to the podcast. He's like 10 episodes behind right now, Ray.
Oh God, I always listen to ours.
I know, I do too. I listen to ours here, and then I go on YouTube too to make sure.
Give me my views, bitch.
That's right. But I'm thinking because he's got like 3 he wants to see at Spookula. So he wants to see the guy that's currently in Fallout. Goggins, I think's his last name. He wants to see Danny Trejo's gonna be there.
Danny is my Uncle Machete. From Spy
He wants
Kids.
to see Danny, and he wants to see God, he's in everything. Resident Alien. Alan. Oh, his last name starts with a T. Have you ever seen A Knight's Tale? Or 28 Days? Do you remember the Sandra Bullock movie where she was an alcoholic going through AA?
Vaguely.
Okay.
Or
you
can go.
Oh yeah.
Type in some information about that man. It'll give you a full name that you can go ahead and read up, or at least try to.
Words are hard. Do you see this? Hold on. Ah, fuck.
Babe. Huh? No. Alan. I'm not gonna say that last name.
See?
Is it Tudyk?
I don't know.
Tudyk? Because if it's the other one, if it's the hard I, and I'm not saying that word during Pride Month.
So he is in it. He's the lead in Resident Alien. He was in Firefly. He voiced this. I love this every time. He voiced Hey Hey in Moana.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Right. But he's part of Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. I know him from Heath Ledger movies is my thing.
Heathies.
Yeah.
That's a isn't that Club 27 too?
Was he 27? Hold on.
Isn't that Club 27 too?
Heath Ledger. 28. He was a year out. He was 28.
Mm. Well, this was a very informative episode. This was also not our linguistical best.
No, it definitely wasn't. Coffee is needed. I'll take any coffee sponsorship. I will talk about your coffee all day if you want.
I will listen, if you have a tea sponsorship, I will take it. Tea as in like the sip, not like the things that we talk about.
Facts.
No, thank you. Today's episode was really good. I learned a lot. I think I'm definitely intrigued by the documentary. I have some reservations about watching it. Just because it scared me. Next week we are doing Q2 movie review. We have a borderline laundry list.
We do. I am, by the way, Gabriel, since you gave us 2 references, I'll check out his YouTube ones.
Okay.
And give my thoughts, unless you want to see them too.
Send me everything I need to watch, and then because I have like a memory log of all the things I need to talk about. If you are a fan of the movie Tarot that came out in 2024,
don't listen to this episode.
I'm so sorry for how I'm gonna rip into this fucking movie. If you're a fan of In a Violent Nature or The Watchers,
same.
Do not listen to next week. Listen.
Listen
but
here.
Yeah. But yeah. I think that's it for me. And remember, subscribe, give us 5 stars. Is the promo code still going for t-shirts?
Yes. So we have a couple of promo codes, actually. Let me pull it up.
Do you want me to say them? Because just in case.
So the one that says summer sale is the one you want to highlight, you butthead.
Okay. Is that it? Did you send that to me via email?
I sent it to you in a text, I think.
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic.
Oh, here it is. Okay. So if you click the link in the bio or down below, it'll take you to our Threadless shop. For merchandise, there's a 15% off site-wide code that is, it's going to be gone by the time this episode airs.
That's what I'm saying, the summer sale one. The one right under it.
How? The summer sale one. I'm just kidding. Oh, no, this one's fine. Summer sale, $14 tees and up to 35% off everything.
And we do have everything.
The code is literally
There's no code. It's already going to be assigned to it.
Oh, great. So $14 tees, meaning like our t-shirts that are like 20 something dollars, reduced. This would be a great time to purchase shit.
Yeah, and if you're looking at like the sweatshirts and jackets, it's a good time to purchase it too because they're $35.
Yep.
I'm gonna buy like a little mini poster and put it in my cube at work.
I need to get a little mini poster to hang up here because I only have us on
the phone.
So I bought a sticker and I just it's just so cool to see our faces on merchandise. I don't know. And again, big thanks to Chrissy for taking a chance on me and including me a part of her podcast that existed prior. Anything you have to say before I take us home?
Granted, it's early, but happy Juneteenth to those who are going to be celebrating or those who get the time off. I know
we don't.
We do. My job does. I thought that was amazing. So
I don't know if happy Juneteenth is necessarily.
Well, I thought it was like their liberation.
I don't know. I told someone, I was like, happy Juneteenth, y'all. And they're like, hey, I get you're coming from a good place. And we don't have to include this in the podcast. But like, they were like, hey, I know you're coming from a good place. It's not necessarily something to be happy about. And I was like, I didn't know. So to those who are going to be observing Juneteenth, for the strength and endurance of a very large population of people across the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
May you have great reason to celebrate the history and liberation and progression forward.
There you go.
I hope I said that correctly. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired.
Yes.
God, I had
Anything
a dental
else?
cleaning. I had a dental cleaning yesterday. Anyways, I need to stop. Before this becomes a 3-hour episode of me just rambling about my dentist appointment yesterday. I'm solid. Everything's good. In this episode, I never sent La Llorona after anyone, so
I know. Should we just pick someone random? Shouldn't we? Oh, yeah, that's true. Yep.
Because Lucifer is Lucifer. Okay, and not in my life.
Not in my life.
And La Llorona isn't La Llorona in my life. But ladies and gents, boys and girls, kids of all ages, preferably like 18 and over, and consenting adults.
Considering what we've talked about lately.
Jesus in heaven. We know you don't want to leave. But if you are going to go, you might as well creep out. Thanks for stopping by.